Is it doomsday for My Hero Academia? Because it feels like a lot of people at the very least have been saying that since, again, Deku got that power up, that the Quirk mutation that's been going on with people is getting out of hand. Because it started with Deku, and now with this chapter, it seems as though Shigaraki's quirk is mutating and manifesting into something else, and a lot of people ain't liking that. Let's talk about the ins and outs of the latest chapter, and a lot of the issues that My Hero Academia, again, it feels as though, or at the very least people are saying, is plaguing it. So yeah, let's jump into it.
Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like...
So after the Toga fight, it definitely shows a little bit more at the very least when we get the conversation from this organization that is like the new threat, so to speak, or at the very least the threat against the villain side, you know, Shigaraki and the League of Villains, whatnot. And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty graphic how this organization is moving, but yo, it's wild because they definitely, whatever it is that they're trying to maneuver with, they believe in it wholeheartedly at the very least. Because you got to look at it, when the guy is there crying in the office and he says like, oh man, you know, it's such a waste when humanity dies, and he's crying, but then he has like a smile on his face. It seems as though he genuinely believes in whatever agenda that they're pushing for this, because it seems as though they're kind of pushing politics into My Hero Academia now. Now I'm starting to feel when they're like, oh look, it's one of those campaign trucks, and then the guy gets out and he starts preaching there or whatever. It definitely seems as though the way it's interpreted at the very least is like, because these are like seemingly like politicians or whatever. It's like a politician has hired this organization to push this, and maybe this politician probably going to allow them just to get off in a sense, to kind of come in and play the hero, something like that. I don't freaking know. But this organization at the very least, they've been planning this attack against the League of Villains for some time, because I mean, they said they got cameras all over the streets. They want to show everyone the truth, whatever it is that they believe. There's a lot of really interesting things about this organization as we're getting into it, because like they're willing to do whatever. I mean, look at what happened to Toga. Toga got bodied. It was like, and they had a particular agenda. They were literally trying to like use Toga as a martyr for their purposes and their causes. And from what they said, they wanted to show a regular civilian having the power to defeat a villain like Toga. And Toga, you know, at the end of the day, she, like, in society, what she's done, of course, attacking people and shit like that, that's dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? So them kind of showing, you could interpret it in a couple different ways, and that's where I'm kind of a little bit like, this organization, where is it that they're really trying to go with this, and where is the author really trying to go with this? Is it that it would push the hero organization away? And because if you think about it, if people saw footage of a camera woman kicking Toga's ass, it would kind of make people be like, whoa, then why do we need heroes? And then it would push heroes away. And if this is a political campaign, then it could be interpreted as that. You could also interpret it as maybe it's trying to inspire the people. But I don't know. This guy, it's kind of hard to read where it's going. And that's where I'm kind of starting to get a little bit interested at the very least in these villains, now that they're really putting these people against the wall. Like the Toga fight was the warm-up. Of course, this scene, Shigaraki going nuts. And then now Adabi at the end of this one. It's definitely starting to get a little bit more interesting with the combat stuff, but I think it's more important to see like, okay, where is this all leading towards? And it's definitely an incredible, at the very least, an incredible training arc for the villains organization, the League of Villains. It's good that it's giving them character development. It's making them question their purposes, like Toga and Shigaraki, and you know, a lot of them. Then it gets to a point where Shigaraki is kind of drowsy. You got to think about it. They were up fighting Giganto Macho for like ages, and now they're trying to wait for Giganto Macho to wake up. So he's at this point hallucinating, and he's seeing visions of a little girl, and it's seemingly in his memories, he's getting these memories of a little girl with a photo, and it's of a hero, and the hero is the, what is it, the predecessor to All Might's, the one that had the gloves. What is Nana, I believe? Forgive me if it's been a bit, but he sees, and the little girl is apparently his sister, and says, that's our grandmother. So that's definitely making me question a lot of things about Shigaraki, because is it that when he's getting sleepy he just puts it as that, or is he understanding? Because he's like kind of referring to them as these memories, and if he knew, okay, like this is real, because you got to look at the actual detail. The little girl said, even though dad said all that stuff, I'm on your side, Tenko. So getting that, like, immediately, okay, Shigaraki would, if you think about it, if Shigaraki's trying to find his true purpose, then he's going to eventually at some given point start questioning, okay, is my name Tenko? Assuming he doesn't already know that. Like, if Shigaraki already knows majority of it and forgets, which he doesn't, because at the end of the day, this chapter shows that he says it's like a broken recording in my head. So it definitely goes in a different direction. And let's look at the predecessor to All Might. Again, I think it's Nana. Wearing the gloves. It's really, and I seen one of these theories floating around, and honestly, it does make a lot of sense. That was her quirk, similar to Shigaraki. Shigaraki's quirk is when he touches things, you know, they disintegrate or whatever. When he touches people, they'll you know, decompose right there. Maybe that was her quirk, and eventually Deku is going to have that quirk, which it drives somebody nuts to have the same power as somebody that is like your ultimate rival and the ultimate villain in your life, Shigaraki. And again, going back to it, I feel as though these chapters are showing that this arc in particular is going to be the de facto most important arc to the League of Villains growing up a bit and kind of really understanding their purpose and where they're going and their motives and who they are. And it'll give one big thing that I feel as though the League of Villains has truly lacked in terms of a message, in a sense that you think about it. And then lastly, the biggest thing that a lot of people are talking about is now what a lot of people consider, I believe it's the third time that we've had a quirk mutation. It started off with Deku, then Toga, now him. I'm imagining with the setup that Dabi is about to fight that ice guy, which clearly indicates that Dabi is Endeavor's son, because of course everybody's already been speculating that Dabi is Endeavor's son that supposedly died. He uses flames, his opponent is ice. I think that'll give him a big realization about himself, and if he doesn't remember that he was Endeavor's son, it will remember, you know, it'll jog into him, and if not, then at the very least the audience will see it, or he'll get fragments of it, because it's giving people purpose. Again, Toga going back to her past, this chapter giving a little bit of insight into Shigaraki and how his quirk as well, not only his past of course with the grandmother and all of that stuff, but again the mutation of his quirk, that it was kind of touching and disintegrating things that he didn't even touch, like it was a chain effect, so to speak. It definitely shows that this is where my hero is going. The author is saying no, 100% this is where it's going. Quirks can mutate. I'm curious if everybody in like you know, Class A, are all of them gonna have mutations and stuff like that? Because the League of Villains, they're a small group, but at the end of the day, especially with Shigaraki, like having that type of quirk mutation, it's going to be messy. It's going to be very interesting to see how it handles. But I'll say it again, just kind of seeing the League of Villains, which, you know, as of right now, they're still like kind of in a sense a joke to society, at the very least from Shigaraki's perspective, coming to age and this side. And it's really cool to see. We don't get to see it in this fashion a lot of the times, like, you know, where you're actually kind of rooting for the League of Villains in a sense, and again seeing them develop and understanding and trying to reach a point where they know where they want to go. I think by the end of all this, Shigaraki will know exactly why he wants to push this goal forward of, you know, what the League of Villains set out to do. So I think he's going to really understand, and that's where things is going to get serious. And I really hope after this arc we do not go back into another training arc with the heroes, because I ain't gonna lie, I'll be real with you, that'll really actually annoy me at this point. Like, I want to go back to the heroes 100%, but it's not about the academia part. I don't care that, okay, whatever, learn, good, cool. But it's like this arc right now, as great as it is, it's just disguised as another training arc, but it's for the more interesting characters at the moment. Like right now, where the plot is, the villains are more interesting because they still have to develop. We've had so much development for the main protagonist that now getting a breath of fresh air is what we're getting. Shigaraki and them understanding and growing and shit like that. So I'm glad that this arc exists. I just really hope we don't go back and we're getting like Mineta fart jokes in the next chapter, because or in the next arc, shall I say, because we got Dabi coming up, which again, interesting stuff. Kind of curious what you guys think about this. Do you think my hero at this point has officially jumped shark, so to speak, jumped ship? I don't know what you would say. In terms of since Deku, now a lot of people, like, you know, it broke one of the in-universe rules, so to speak, which is what a lot of people say. Me personally, I'm kind of down for whatever, and then I speculate after the, like, you know, it's hard to really say right now when we're in the midst of the plot is still developing. If we get some sort of really, which it could happen, I'm trying to be optimistic at the very least with this one, because it's a shame especially to see that My Hero Academia, the fandom really has dropped a lot. A lot of people aren't really messing with it. I'm not talking about like views on YouTube and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of negativity coming towards it, and I'm hoping that this arc really is the saving grace, especially putting the villains on the map and display. And honestly, I really rock with it, because I want to somewhat understand the intent of this organization that is you know, basically capturing people and attacking the League of Villains. I kind of want to understand what their overall arcing, you know, goal is, I guess. Like, why is it just a political smear campaign? Like, because if there's political trucks there and the guy's acting like a bishop, they said, it's really strange, honestly. My Hero Academia, though, for what it's worth, it's at the very least entertaining. I can't knock it for that, but I feel as though at the very least, above all else, these are the reasons why the series right now is being criticized and is regarded as problematic and has jumped ship or shark. Again, what do you think? I kind of laid out all the reasons and stuff like that, but I'm curious, and your real thoughts of the latest stuff in My Hero. Apologies for the lateness or whatever, but yeah, that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Please hit the bell to get all notifications. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want to follow any of my social media, links of course in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day, and remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Can't forget the music though. Hold on, let me play y'all a little something.
Make sure your next move is your best move. Feeling smothered, I guess less. But always remember, no matter the weather, I was October through to September. Whenever you needed, whatever you needed. Every girl hated is how you were treated. Gave you the town, gave you the city. No one